Charmander gets all the love, and for good reason. But don't you think it's a bit odd that Charmander became so popular?
No, I don't, because Charmander's the best starter.
But practically, it might be the worst.
Bro, what?
No. At least it could have the most going against it. Charmander, frankly, has terrible matchups against the first 2 Kanto gyms, which effectively makes it feel like you're playing Kanto on hard mode compared to the other 2 starters.
Do you think it was intentionally designed that way?
Maybe, as Bulbasaur does have favorable matchups against the first 2 gyms, making it kind of like an easy mode, whereas Squirtle could be kind of medium, having an advantage against Brock, but not against Misty. So we could call Charmander the hard mode of this soft Kanto difficulty system.
The children of 1998 might not have realized it, but Charmander would kick off the trend of us automatically picking the fire starter every game.
Charmander is the 4th Pokemon in the Pokedex, which also started the trend of the fire starter coming second in Pokedex order, after grass but before water.
Charmander evolves at level 16, sharing this with Squirtle. This level 16 and 36 evolution pattern would go on to be the most common among starter Pokemon.
All 3 of the Hoenn starters even use it, but that's for a later video.
Speaking of Hoenn, Charmander's Hoenn Pokedex states that its tail is a sign of its emotions. The flame wavers when Charmander is happy, but burns fiercely when it is mad.
So it sounds like in Gen 3, Charmander's tail is some kind of mood ring. That's interesting, seeing as many other dex entries for Charmander indicate that its tail is more of a sign of health and vitality more than anything. Gold and Silver have exactly opposite dex entries, with Gold detailing that if Charmander is weak, it bears a timid flame.
Silver tells us that a Charmander's flame burning lightly is a sign of a healthy Charmander.
LeafGreen's dex entry states that during rain, steam will spout from a Charmander's tail.
Wait, what the heck, bro?
What?
FireRed is so much darker.
Okay, wait, let's read this. From the time it is born, a flame burns at the tip of its tail. Its life would end if the flame were to go out. That's morbid.
I guess water type moves are a little more super effective than we thought.
Oh, speaking of moves, I've got a few interesting things to pick out about Charmander's moveset. Did you know that Charmander, along with Chespin, are the only 2 starters that can learn Belly Drum? They both can learn it as an egg move specifically.
I was gonna say, learning Belly Drum as a level up move would be broken. That would have been one of those moves I deleted as a kid. Because dude, if it didn't deal damage, why would I have it on my Pokemon?
Also, we gotta talk about how they gave Charmander Dragon Rage. Further memeing on the fact that these guys and Charizard are not dragon types.
Until Gen 6 at least. And bro, nobody even sees Charmander with Dragon Rage. They only ever see it on Charmeleon because it gets it after it evolves anyway.
Well, apparently Game Freak knew that at some point they had to start reminding you earlier. As starting in Generation 8, they'd give Charmander Dragon Breath at level 12.
So I guess instead of a fire-breathing dragon, he's a dragon-breathing fire. I guess that works.
They've gone full send on the dragon these days too, as now not only does Charmander get Dragon Breath, it gets Outrage, it gets Breaking Swipe, it gets Dragon Rush, it gets Dragon Tail, it gets Dragon Claw, it gets Dragon Dance, it gets Dragon Pulse. Still aren't convinced about Game Freak's meme energy when calling Charmander a dragon? Well then take a look at these egg groups.
Charmander shares the monster egg group with Bulbasaur and Squirtle and almost every other starter. So what's your point?
No, Caden. It's the second egg group, Dragon.
No.
The only starter it shares this second egg group with is Trico, who also happens to be pretty dragon-like himself. Game Freak at least saved face with both of these starters, who share the exact same monster dragon egg groups by giving them both the dragon type in later mega evolutions.
Enough about eggs. Let's crack that design.
Charmander was initially designed with a line of spikes on his back, visible in the original Japanese red and green sprite and in all of the Gen 1 back sprites.
Even the first Kensugi Mori art had one spike visible.
Atsuko Nishida designed Charmander. That name should sound pretty familiar to you by now if you've seen our Bulbasaur and Squirtle videos.
But what about his fingers?
Charmander's fingers?
The number of fingers on Charmander has still been inconsistent. In 3D models and Kensugi Mori art, Charmander has 4 fingers. But in all art unrelated to the main series games, Charmander has 3.
This little guy here.
Oh, look at that. Look at that little goober.
So whether you like it or not, Charmander is constantly giving you the finger, Caden.
Damn. While Bulbasaur and Squirtle were designed backwards from their final evolutions down to their first, Charmander was specifically designed to be a surprise for the player.
Salamanders are not lizards. So I'm sure all the 5-year-olds who know their reptilian biology were surprised when this cute little fiery salamander evolved into a full European dragon.
You basically take a cute little guy running around the streets of Florida and evolve him into the ruined kingdom boss from Super Mario Odyssey.
Before we go deeper into the designs, let's dive into that name a little bit more, shall we?
Oh man, I'm still trying to learn the difference between a salamander and a lizard.
Well, boy, do I have newts for you. Charmander's English name is a combination of char, a synonym for burn, and salamander, made clear through Game Freak's official website. It was stated that the char portion could have been taken from the word charcoal, but that takes us back to the same place, same root meaning.
Its Japanese name, Hitokage, sorry for the butcher Japanese, is literally a combination of Hi for fire and Togage for lizard.
Wait. So in Japan, this thing is a lizard, even though it's a salamander in English?
All I know is that the more unclear this is, the more likely it is I'm saving 15% or more on car insurance.
Shiny Charmander takes on a more golden yellow orangish tone and has actually been pretty consistent in colors through the years.
Like many other shinies, it looks closer to the original color since Charmander's original orange is a lot less sharp than it used to be.
Charmander did get pretty negatively impacted by the colors being watered down in Gen 9.
Charmander was previously a more red-orange color, most notably in Pokemon Crystal, where it was darkened compared to Gold and Silver.
Charmander, wildly enough, almost started a trend of fire types all having the same stats, at least until Torchic ruined the fun.
Oh dang, you're right. Charmander does have the exact same stat spread as Cyndaquil.
And the same is actually true for Quilava and Charmeleon and Charizard and Typhlosion. But poor Typhlosion wasn't given a secondary type or wings.
Wings.
Charmander, at least in his Little Cup appearances, typically takes the physical attacking route, even though his special attack is a little bit higher.
This thing does have pretty odd stats. Like, why did they have to make him so weird?
HP of 39, attack of 52,
Defense of 43,
special attack of 60, special defense of 50, and speed of 65.
Dude, my boy only would have costed $10 at Subway because it's only 2 feet long. About the height of a border collie.
And he only weighs 18.7 pounds. That's a bit lighter than you'd expect.
Yeah, I could afford to lose about a Charmander worth of weight. Or 5.
What about its ability?
Its ability is Blaze, an ability pretty common among fire-type starters. The ability boosts the fire-type moves of the Pokemon when their health bar is low.
But its hidden ability, Solar Power, is actually pretty interesting. During sunlight, Charizard will lose an eighth of its max HP each turn, but it will also gain a 1.5x boost to its special attack.
1.5x doesn't sound like that much, honestly.
But when you factor in the harsh sunlight, stab, and the solar power, Charmander's special fire-type moves get a 50% increase from the sunlight, a 50% increase from solar power, and a 50% increase from stab, resulting in a total boost of 3.375x on Charmander's fire-type moves.
That's a lot of damage!
So how might we locate this lovely lukewarm lizard?
Well, in Gen 1, of course, we can receive Charmander as a starter from Professor Oak's lab.
At least until Pokemon Yellow, where you can obtain it from a boy on Route 24.
It's implied that this boy is Damian, and he'll give you a Charmander if your Giga Chad trainer status is high enough.
Then we get 2 whole generations of Charmander being a trader event exclusive.
Other than FireRed and LeafGreen, of course, where our boy is still a starter Pokemon, not a first partner Pokemon, but a starter Pokemon.
You can also use him in Coliseum and XD, although only via trade.
On the DS, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum limit this guy to Pal Park, unfortunately.
But in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they let you receive one from Professor Oak after defeating Red.
Gen 5 goes back to making Charmander pretty exclusive, this time to Global Link events or by using the Poke Transporter.
Gen 6 brought this guy back in a big way by making him the second starter Pokemon you receive in that game.
In Sun and Moon, Charmander is only accessible via trade or via Pokemon Bank. But Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon make him accessible on Route 3 through the island scan that we've talked about with Bulbasaur and Squirtle.
Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee bring back Charmander on Route 24, just like in Pokemon Yellow. But this time you need a Pokemon caught requirement.
I guess Damian got picky. But you can also catch Charmander as a special spawn on Routes 3, 4, and in the Rock Tunnel for some reason.
Dude, that's because Marowak are just Sandshrew with skulls on their head, and a lowland Marowak is just a Charmander with a skull on his head. Makes sense to me.
Caden, that was the most Nat Geo History Channel take I've ever heard.
Charmander survived Dexit and was even on the champions team in Galar.
Not only that, but Leon literally gives you a Charmander after beating it, leaving it in his bedroom for you in Postwick, and this thing can Gigantamax.
Literally. Big boy Charmander. There were also some max raids you could get Charmander in. Unfortunately, our boy Mustard got stuck with the 2 worst Kanto starters. Mustard just would have been unstoppable with a Charmander on his team, obviously.
In BDSP, Charmander...
BDSP allows you to catch Charmander in the Grand Underground, specifically in the Volcanic Caves, Sandseer Cave, and Typhlow Caverns.
And of course, our guy was left out of Legends Arceus.
In Scarlet and Violet, Charmander was initially unobtainable. That was until Charizard was released in a Terra Raid event with the Mightiest mark.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be the only time ever that you would have to get a Charizard before you can get a Charmander in-game, as the only way to get a Charmander at the time was to breed your Mightiest Mark Charizard.
But then the DLC came out.
And after spending $30 and some BP, you could find Charmander roaming about the Savannah biome.
Trev, we're on our 3rd starter now, and haven't done any side games. Can we please do them, Trev?
Fine, but only because we love fire types.
We do. In Pokemon Pinball, Charmander can be found on the red field of Pallet Town.
In Pokemon Snap, Charmander is found in the volcano level, and has a pretty fun interaction if you start chucking things at it. But I'll leave that to you to find out, as the game is definitely worth playing for yourself.
In Pokemon Stadium, Charmander is located in the Gym Leader Castle.
In Pokemon Channel, Charmander is found on Mount Snowfall of all places. Must be cold up there for his tail. I guess he might die.
In Pokemon Troze, it's in the huge Storage 5 and in Mr. Who's Den.
In Mystery Dungeon, he's a hero Pokemon, a partner Pokemon. Uh-oh, Caden, they started using this term all the way back here in Gen 3. And it's also found in the Fiery Field.
In Pokemon Ranger, it's found in the Jungle Relic. Now, we can stop talking about Mystery Dungeon, right?
Back to Mystery Dungeon, explorers of time, darkness, and sky. Charmander is found in the dark crater or in giant volcanoes. Sick.
Not sick. In Pokemon Rumble, he is found in the Fiery Furnace.
In Pokepark Wii, a goated game, Charmander takes you to the Lava Zone. He's befriended automatically and even tries to warm up Blaziken to you a little bit.
In Ranger Guardian Signs, he's found on Faldera Island and in the Fire Temple.
In Rumble Blast, he's in the Everspring Valley.
In Conquest, he's found in Ignis, but I've never really played that game, so who knows what that means. While we're at it, we're gonna skip Pokemon Rumble U because I don't play games that need toys to activate them.
And let's be honest, we have no idea what we're talking about here.
Nope, not at all.
Let's just skip all the Gen 6 ones for today and let all the commenters rage at us if these are any of their favorite games by chance. Much respect to Battle Troze, Rumble World, Super Mystery Dungeon, and of course, Pokemon Picross.
No, man, I love Picross. He's found in Area 5, Stage 3.
In new Pokemon Snap, he's found in the Fireflow Volcano. Regrettably, I still haven't played this game.
In Pokemon Sleep, he appears in Greengrass Isle in Tope Hollow.
And last but not least, in Shuffle, he appears in Puerto Blanco, Stage 4, and Blau Salon, Stage 406. That's a lot of side games.
Yeah. Dang it, we forgot Go!
Okay, fine. We got a Party Hat Charmander, a Pikachu Visor Charmander, and... Wait, look at this. No way.
Don't do it to him, bro.
Cubone and Charmander crossover confirmed. Full circle. We know why he's in the Rock Tunnel now.
Brock references the Charmander dies with flame goes out Dex entry in the first episode with Ash and Charmander, when it is left in the rain, directly saying if its flame goes out, it will die.
Speaking of Ash's Charmander, we do have quite a bit of history to go over with it. But less so than his Bulbasaur or Squirtle, as Charmander was the only one to evolve. Which of course we'll save most of for a future Charizard video. But Ash's Charmander still remained unevolved for a whole 32 episodes. And let's be real, it did most of its bonding with its teammates at this time.
As previously mentioned, Ash's Charmander was left out in the rain by its previous trainer Damian, possibly one of the most hated characters in the entire anime. He abandoned his Charmander because he considered it weak, but he waited for him to return regardless, refusing Ash's and friends' help at first.
But when push came to shove, they were able to bring Charmander to the local Pokemon Center for healing. The saddest part of all of this is after being at the Pokemon Center, he went right back to the original spot, waiting for Damian, who had promised he'd return. Falsely, of course. Later, Charmander defeated Team Rocket and rescued Pikachu, prompting Damian to recognize Charmander's strength and even tell Charmander to come back to join his own team. But justice was served as little Charmander boy flamethrowered Damian and joined Ash's team instead. He definitely had the darkest backstory of any of Ash's starters.
After the SS Hand shipwreck in the anime, all the main characters' Pokemon were left to fend for themselves for part of the episode. Charmander was the most optimistic out of the three starters, having more faith that Ash would find them than Bulbasaur and Squirtle did.
Ash's Charmander gained a lot of battle experience quite quickly. It defeated Ash's Primeape prior to capture, but also defeated Erika's Weepinbell and Koga's Golbat. Charmander evolved soon after in the episode March of the Executor Squad, after he stopped a large group of Executor at once. Thus, that's where the anime history of our first stage Charmander ends.
Ash's Charmander, in English, is voiced by Michael Haganey, who is most known for also voicing Misty Psyduck, while in English his voice changes actors as he evolves. In Japanese, Shinichiro Miki voices all three stages of the Charmander line. His performance was so good that instead of dubbing over the Japanese lines, they kept it in for the English dub.
In the alternative anime canon, I Choose You, Charmander was abandoned by a trainer named Cross instead. Charmander was also in danger due to rain here, but he was taken care of in a cave by Sorrel until he was back to full health.
In this alternative anime timeline, Charmander is the only one of the three original Kanto starters that Ash has, while his only other Pokemon are Pikachu and Butterfree, which he also ends up releasing just like in the anime.
Ash's friend and rival Richie also happens to use a Charmander nicknamed Zippo in the Indigo Plateau Conference. While it was able to make Ash recall Pikachu, Richie then needed to switch out his Charmander once Ash's Charizard was sent out. Interestingly, while Zippo did later evolve into a Charmeleon, we've never actually seen if it evolved into a Charizard or not.
Trevor had a
What?
No. I'm saying Trevor had a Charmander from X and Y. The guy from X and Y. Trevor.
What?
No, Trevor.
Oh, Tierno?
No, it's freaking Trevor, dude. Say the fact. Say it now. Trevor. Say the Trevor had a Charmander as a starter Pokemon in the anime, which, like many other Charmanders in this video, evolved into a Charizard. It uses the Charizardite Y for Mega Evolution.
Leon's Charizard is shown in flashbacks as a Charmander in the anime, but of course it's more recognizable as his fully evolved Charizard.
Well, I think we should finish this video off with some Charmander-related stuff you've definitely been waiting your whole life to see.
We have to bring up the Niue coin, as it'll complete the trio of Kanto starters that have been represented on this thing.
In the Smash Bros. Series, Charmander had a trophy in Smash Bros. Brawl and Smash for Wii U and 3DS, as well as a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Charmander got his own Funko Pop.
And a sick version of that same Funko Pop in silver for the 25th anniversary.
Charmander has over 44 unique TCG cards. That's insane.
And his own TCG promotional set.
Here's a bunch of people who built some sick Charmander art in Minecraft. Man, I miss pixel art.
There are too many Charmander plushies on the market to even count. On brand and off, of course. And the best ones of these, though, other than mine, is this little sleeping one. Dude, look, he's so adorable. Aww.
Here's a sick Subaru BRZ that somebody custom wrapped to look like a Charmander.
Yo, dude, there's a Korean snack that's marketed as Charmander, bro.
Charmander has been featured on several Mega Set collaborations. So, you know, you can build them with bricks and stuff.
Dude, here is the cutest phone case of all time.
And last but not least, a Mega Swole Charmander you can buy on Etsy.
What is
No,
that?
I swear this is real, dude. This is real. It's like a what's under a Diglett meme, but it's a Charmander.
What? See this little boy? You will be this one day.
Now that we've done all the Kanto starters, it's time for you, the viewer, to let us know who you want to do next. Can we do all 1,025 Pokemon before Father Time catches up to us?
You know, I don't care as long as we do Ludicolo eventually.
I promise, Caden, we'll get there.
We better. I'm wearing my Ludicolo shirt, dude. And we're telling you guys, liking, subscribing, commenting, all of that really helps on making these videos better and more frequent.
So show us you love Slakdex so we can tell our landlords to go put out his tail, if you know what I mean.